I mean, money wins, man. Money might be the deciding factor here. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master Football back at it again. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for being here. For those of you who've never been here before, this is Jake with Master Football. All things pro, college, video game football, anything related to American football, we discuss on this show. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit that red subscribe button. Go ahead and hit it. Please comment, please share, please like, anything like that. It really drives engagement. I really appreciate it. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So here we are in the college football season. And again, we saw last week, Big 12's been kind of a little crazy. You know, Oklahoma State just lost to Iowa State. Iowa State rushed the field. There's a couple other big games that are coming up here. But there was a story that came out. And again, it was just it's a hypothetical story from the Sick and 365 sports guys. I actually really like them. They're a Baylor channel, but they do a pretty good job. I feel like they're pretty measured in their responses to a couple of things. But they had an idea. I want to throw it over to Mr. Smoke.
How do you make more money? One is the Big 12 is still one of the rarities with a tier 3, and that's not a lot of money. I think each team gets about $4 million from that. But how do you make more money? How about this idea? What are the pros and cons, in your opinion, if the Big 12, once they're formed, and it is a 12 to 16 team league, what about having 10 conference games? You eliminate a non-conference game. You also eliminate giving up part of the gate or whatever else with a non-conference game, or giving somebody $500,000 to come get beaten, and sometimes they beat you. What's the pros and cons if the Big 12 is to go to a 10-game conference schedule?
So they actually get into this in their video. I want to go ahead and make my own analysis of this. For those of you who don't know, the way college football works is in general, and again, it used to be 8, now it's about 9, but generally there's about a 12-team schedule for a certain college. Then they'll have 8 of those games will be conference games, and then 4 of them will be non-conference. A lot of teams have now gone to the point where now it's no longer 8, it's now 9. So they have 3 non-conference games. So you have 3 non-conference, 9 in conference, 12 games. There is a special rule, and again, I know this from being a Mountain West guy, but if you play at Hawaii, having to go all the way out there in Hawaii, you actually can have an additional home game because it is such a difficult thing going out there to Hawaii and playing. But generally, that's where we're at right now, okay? 12 games. Mostly 9-game conference schedule. Some of them have 8. There was actually discussions between the alliance that they would go to an 8-game conference schedule in order to allow easier access for the Big 10, the ACC, and the Pac-12 to actually play interconference and things like that. But I'm going to go ahead and answer this question myself. So I've got my notebook here detailing out what I did. Okay, I've got a very highly edited Word document that you're about to see. Okay, it was a very good job I did. But we're going to highlight the strengths and weaknesses of that. I also want to go into what that would actually look like to set up a 10-game schedule. I have not only conference size, I have division size, and then I have game schedule. See how that all kind of lines out. And also what that would do to the potential rivalries between inter and outer conference for all of the Big 12 teams, even if it is, well, as the Big 12, it's also going to be potentially the future Big 12 teams if they're kind of added in there. So let's get into my super fancy Word document I got. So here we are on my Word document, and again, you'll see if your strengths and weaknesses of a 10-game schedule, they actually articulated this itself. So if you go from let's just say you have a 9-game conference schedule right now, you go to a 10, adding one more game, that's 11% more games. The big reason why the 11% more games is so valuable is because you can go to a network and say, hey, if you say, hey, the Big 12 on CBS, the Big 12 on ESPN, the Big 12 on Fox, any Big 12 game is now going to be going to that network, and they're going to have 11% more games. So 11% more games, 11% more opportunities for commercials, things like that. It would play out pretty well. Also in that too, like I said, it would more games for network exclusivity, more games. It also indicates no other team there would play 10 conference games. It would be kind of unique, kind of a Big 12 only kind of thing. Hey, do we play 10-game conference schedule? We don't have no 9 or 8-game conference schedule. That would be kind of unique. The weaknesses behind that, and again, it will say it will hurt the chances at seeding with the college football playoff. I don't know if it was David Smoke or Craig Smoke. I forgot which one because I know his father. I think it's father and son. But the younger one basically stated that, this is going to be tough because it's already tough enough to win 9 games in the Big 12 and then go win a 10th game in the conference championship. If you add the fact that they have to win 10 and then 11, you have to win 11 games against your conference opponents that could potentially hurt you down the road. I know a lot of times There are certain teams that they'll go 4-0 in their non-conference games, and they'll get into conference and they'll go 4-4 or something like that. So they'll be 8-4. That looks like a really good team. They play the teams in their division, and they were 500. So those non-conference games can really boost the sense of your league, because if you're just playing each other and beating up on each other, nobody's going to really know how good you necessarily are. So that could potentially hurt your college football playing standings. And another thing with that, too, is a weakness is you may lose a couple other rivalries. So especially if you have a lot of non-conference rivalries, I know a team that would definitely be hurt by this would be West Virginia. West Virginia has several non-conference rivalries out there. I know they're actually trying to get, I know Cincinnati's coming in. That would be kind of a travel partner for them that could potentially help out. So this is where it gets a little crazy here. So I encourage everybody here to check my math on this. I could be wrong, but this is how it kind of looks. So you see here, we're going to have the number of teams in the league. We're going to have the number of divisions. We're going to have the number of conference games and what that would kind of look like. So you see there, 12-team league, 2 divisions, 8 conference games, 5 against your side, and then 3 against the other side. You would play every team every 2 years. Now, again, you wouldn't play at everybody's house, and they would play at your house every 2 years, but you would at least play every team every 2 years. Then you look there, a 12-team league, 2 divisions, 9 conference games, 5 against your side, 4 against the other, play team a little less than 2 years, 12-team league, 2 divisions, 10 conference games, which would be nuts. It would basically be 5 against your side, 5 against the other, play every team every less than 2 years. It'd be a little bit less than that, too, than the other one. Then you look at a 14-team league. You look at a 14-team league with 9 conference games, a 14-team league with 2 divisions and 10 conference games. That would be 6 against your side, 4 against the other, play every team every 2 years. I think that more than likely, if you're looking at this down here, what I think the Big 12 is going to be doing, I think that this is the one they're going to be good. This 12-team league, 2 divisions, 9 conference games. I think that is either this one or this one. More than likely, I'm going to see something like that, but you're going to say, play every team every other couple of years. I do think that right now, what's complicating this is the fact that, Iowa State, Kansas State, and Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma State might be peeled away towards a Southern Division or something like that. I think that is a possibility. So those other Big 8 members might want to still play each other, but they might not have the opportunity to do so as often. So I think that they could potentially do this one right here, where it would be 9 conference games, 5 against your side, 4 against the other, and you'll play every team, every other, close to under to every 2 years. I think if they go to 14, I think it will still be 14 teams, 2 divisions, 9 conference games, 6 on your side, 3 against the other, play every team just under every 3 years. This would be if they went to 14. The rumor was that Memphis and Boise State would be added next if they were to go to a 14-team league. If they go to 16, it gets a little weird. So if you go to 16 and you have 9 conference games, it's 7 against your side, 2 against the other, play every team every 4 years. Now again, let's play team once every 4 years. So you would play you would play at every single stadium once every 8 years. That's really difficult, I think, to throw together. I do think a really, really positive thing, if you come down here and check this out, would be this pod system. So the 16-team, 4 divisions, pods, and then 9 conference games, 3 against yours, 2 against the other 3 divisions. You'd have 9 games. You'd play every team every 2 years. Every 4 years, you would play at least once at everybody else's place. I think that's the most likely outcome to be from this if they were to go to a 16-team league. If they were to go to a 16-team league and a 10 conference games, look at this math right here. 7 against your side, 3 against the other, play every team under every 3 years. But look at this here. 16-team league, 4 divisions, pods, 10 conference games. This would be absolutely nuts. 3 against your division, 2 against 3 other divisions. For that would be 3 plus 6 is 9, plus 1 additional game from a certain division. It could be a locked rivalry partner or something like that. Play every team in just under every 2 years. That is a possibility if they go to 10 conference games. Again, I don't think it's going to happen, but that's a possibility for it. And then you see here, these are the locked rivalries. Now, this is my best. Okay, for all you Big 12 fans, please let me know if these are correct or if these are not. But again, I think that Baylor and TCU, they just want to play each other every year. Texas Tech and Houston, I know they just played this season. It looks like that could be a potential lock there. I heard also that Texas Tech and Texas were talking. Don't know if that's going to actually happen to be a regular rivalry throughout the years. Kansas State, that's locked. You see Oklahoma State and Oklahoma Bedlam. It would be an out-of-conference game in 2023 to 2025. Iowa State and Iowa would play out of conference. BYU and Utah would be out of conference. UCF and USF would be out of conference. West Virginia and Pitt, and I looked at the schedule. It looks like Pitt and West Virginia are scheduled to play regularly. I thought it might be Maryland, maybe Virginia Tech. It looks like it was finalized to be Pitt. and then Cincinnati and Miami, Ohio out of conference for the Victory Bell. Now, look at this too. If you check this out, these are the possible future rivals for Big 12 teams if they go to a 16-team league. So you see here, USF, if they were to join the league, that would now be an in-conference rival. Cincinnati and Memphis, if Memphis were to join, that would be an in-conference rival. If Memphis was to join, they would still be rivals with Arkansas State. Arkansas State has been scheduled regularly out of conference for the next couple of seasons. BYU and Boise State, I'm a Boise State fan at this point. BYU is our biggest rival. Idaho doesn't even have a real football team. That would be an in-conference game. Boise State and Fresno State, probably either Fresno State or Nevada. I know that those are pretty bitter rivals. And then if SMU were to join, it would probably just be TCU going forward. So there you go, guys. Let me know. What do you think of a 10-game conference schedule? You saw the math right there. Again, check all my math. Let me know what you think. What would you prefer? I personally don't like the 10-game conference schedule. I like if a 9-game conference schedule allows you to play every team a little bit more often. 10 games, it looks like you could potentially be beating up on your own team. I actually want to have those additional games against, somebody wants to play UTEP, somebody wants to play UTSA, somebody wants to play Utah State, somebody wants to play FAU, FIU, something like that. You could still do that. But I do feel like that 10-game conference schedule, money wins, man. Money might be the deciding factor here, but I personally would not do it. But again, we'll see, man. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Please get in the comments. Let me know what you think. Please like, share, subscribe, anything like that. I really appreciate it. But I will see you guys on Friday. I'm out.